Hi, I'm the Auto Tech. Today we're going to work on replacing the shifter boot in my 1993 MR2 Turbo with a replacement shifter boot from superclass.com. Okay, so as you can see here, I have my brand new Superclass shifter boot. It's a pretty nice boot. It has real leather. You can actually see the suede on the inside of here. Stitched very nicely. I got mine in the red and black to match my red car with the black interior. I think it looks like a really, really good design. It's nice and clean. The only thing I noticed is that this one here doesn't seem to be stitched all the way up like the other three. I'm not all that concerned about that because I plan on putting some sort of finial or cover or finish over the top of this, so that won't be seen or obvious, so it doesn't really matter. This is the original, and you can see what condition this is in. It's pretty rough, and you can see this is an original Toyota part. It says ABS here. That doesn't mean that it's an anti-lock brake system. It means that that is ABS plastic, which is what this is made out of, this surround. Taking this out was really easy, so I'm not going to bother covering that. There's a couple spring tabs here, and these kind of catch under the edge of the shifter plate. This has a little arrow right there that points forward. So as you're sitting in the car like this, and you're sitting over here, and your shifter's over there, your right hand's on it, this wide side is going to be facing the driver like that. Okay. So I'm going to start by taking this old bag off because I need to reuse this surround here. And I got a couple things I'm going to try. I'm going to try some of this E6000 glue. It works really well for putting any two things together as far as I've tried. I'm also going to give this a shot. This BSI super glue is really good stuff. I really like it. It works very well for pretty much every application I've tried, and it has this accelerator. This has an open time of 10 to 15 seconds, and which isn't long, but this makes it set immediately. It brings it down to 2 or 3 seconds, and then it is set. So we're going to give this a shot. I'm going to get under the edges of this right here with this screwdriver. I'm just going to very gently lift it up. My main concern is to not damage the plastic here. I'm not worried about damaging this because this is all being thrown away. So it doesn't really matter that it's stretching and ripping. As you can see, there's already holes in this. I'm fairly certain that this is an original shifter boot from 1993. I want to get all of this old stuff out of here because I need it to make a nice tight seal. So one of the things we're going to need to do to make sure that we have a good glue surface to attach to, airbrush to clean all of this stuff here out. Let's see if we can get it real good. All this junk here. And all that stuff will inhibit its ability to stick. This thing looks like it's in pretty good condition overall. There's no cracks. There's no issues. Kind of look down. See, this one is just a little bit more bent, but I'll correct that. I'll just take this. I'm just going to put some pressure upward on it like that, just to try to get it to bend outward slightly. It's kind of difficult to do with spring steel because it doesn't really like to spring more than once. But that's perfect. You can see it's Now nearly perfectly in line with the other one. It just needs a little bit of massaging. So I've got a couple brushes here, a steel brush and a brass brush. Normally I wouldn't do this on something plastic, but we are just going to be real gentle here. And just going to use this to try and get all this junk off of here. Off of here. Let me see how that's coming off of there. This is also going to help to get rid of a lot of the glue that was stuck on here from before. While that glue is probably still okay, I don't want it to interfere with my bond with the new glue. I'm going to use this end right here for getting into these deeper portions. They're harder to get to. You need a narrower tip to be able to reach those. I had to get my workplace cleaned up some here, but now we're just going to use a little bit of this alcohol. It's just regular 90% isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and we're just going to spray this down. Some of this just to agitate some of this stuff. See if we can get this stuff out of there. Perfection is not needed here. Really, we're just getting anything that's loose or is going to cause the glue to not bond properly to get out of there. Want to just make sure it's as clean as possible, but we're not going to lose our minds if it's not perfect. Not too bad. Okay, it's time for us to test fit this. Now, one of the things that we're going to notice about this is that we have obviously 4 panels. That's that wide and that wide. And then there's obviously a front and there's the front and back, and then there's the 2 sides. I don't think from looking at this that there's any particular way that this is supposed to go. It doesn't look like it is more biased to the front or the rear. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm simply going to probably put this side here so that it faces front, so that that is pointing towards my knee, and I'm probably not going to see that because I'm going to be sitting back here. So looking at this once again, there's our arrow. I know this goes to the driver's side. Not that I'm all that worried about what's on this side because it's going to be completely covered, but still like to keep things nice and clean. So with this noted as our front edge, I'm going to just kind of put this over it and see how it fits. Looks like I'm probably going to need to have some sort of clamp, possibly even tape, to hold this over onto the edge while I'm working all the way around it. But it does look like it fits nicely when it's on there. So let's go ahead and just put that on there. And that's kind of how it's going to look. Obviously all of this is going to be pushed down into it like that, with the shifter sticking up through the center, and all that's going to be tucked under. Okay. So as you can see, I've gotten several clips here. I like these big ones because these are going to hold very nice and tight. These ones, that might give me a little more versatility, so a couple small ones. But the point is that I'm just going to try this out, see which ones work, and go from there. So I went and grabbed a couple more of these. I especially like these really small ones. These are great for getting into these corners where the large width of these doesn't fit on the radius of this corner. So I want to use these particularly small ones for going onto those corners here. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take these off one at a time. I'm going to add glue under them so they set immediately and are held exactly where they're supposed to be. And as I finish some of these, I can move them around to this side to finish those if I don't have enough to do all of them. I mostly wanted to get this set up to know that it fits all the way around, that it has a nice radius, it's not too tight here, it's not being stretched or going to have tension across it. This right here has some tension, and I think I'm going to relieve this a little bit, kind of scooch some of this around to just make it all even out. That's a little better. I think that looks great. Nice little line right there. See if you guys can see that. You can already see here it's sticking down pretty well on the end of this line. That right there is already stuck. So now I'm just going to put a nice line all the way around this curve and stick it in. So I've got the glue all the way around the perimeter on this, and I'm only putting the glue on this inner edge, and on the bottom edge I'm not putting it on the outer edge because I want this to still be able to move easily and slip over the top edges of this. I don't want it to be hard stuck against these because then I won't have this nice loose fit right there that kind of makes it look relaxed and, well, like it's not glued. So I've actually noticed that in some of these spots, like right inside here, some of this glue is still not dry. So I'm going to take some of this Bob Smith Industries accelerator and I'm going to put just a little bit onto here. Doesn't take a bunch. It starts a chain reaction that starts the whole process going. And I'm just trying to make sure that I am reducing how much I'm actually getting this on the leather. I don't know how it's going to react. Probably won't react much at all, but I don't want to find out. So I'm just going to set that down and let this dry. Okay, so we're going to actually take these off now. Let's see how well this did. So the glue was a little bit of an issue on here, and honestly, I'm just not all that concerned about that. So what I'm going to do with that one little thread there is I'm actually going to grab a lighter and I'm just going to burn that off so that it's no longer a loose edge. So I'm just going to take this right here. That's it. That's all it takes. No more frayed loose edge. That looks like a nice strong bond. Alright, let's go reinstall it. Okay, we're ready to reinstall the shifter boot. Like I said earlier, the wide side's going to go towards the driver, and they have this handy dandy arrow pointing forward right there. So we're going to set it just over like that, keeping in mind that these hooks got to go in first, and then these are going to snap into place. I'm going to hook those right in there. Boom. Beautiful. Now we're going to take our shifter knob that I put the OSFO on earlier. Just screw that back on top. I think I'm going to 3D print a cap that's going to go over the top of this and just be a black dome to cover up the top of this bag. Alright, I like it. Plenty of movement. Looks much better than the original bag. I really like the fit and quality of this. It was easy to do myself. Definitely have plenty of those very small clips so that you can hold them tightly around the edges. I find that super glue works really well. It shouldn't be temperature dependent on coming apart. It should work no matter what the temperature inside the car is, even in a really hot South Georgia day. So far, this looks excellent. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe. I'll try to make more like this. I'm going to bring you along on several modification trips on this car and a few others that I've got in mind. We'll work on those series as we go. Thanks for watching.